start soon.
Cool.
There we go.
And do you want to share your screen?
Do I want to share my screen? I could.
The agenda?
Why don't I share the agenda? Yes. This one. That's the right one? Let's see. Hey, there we go.
Awesome.
So, hello, everyone. We've had a little bit of technical whoobies, but this is the Mir Office Hours for Pacific people, mostly on the western side of the Pacific. We haven't got anyone else joined in yet, so we will just run down our, Matt and I, I'm Chris Holtz-Rogers. I've been working on the Mir team for ages, and with me is Matt, who has been working on the Mir team for less ages.
About 11 months, yes.
So until someone else joins, we might just run down our agenda to see, just to give anyone watching the video a bit of an insight into what we're doing, a quick overview of what people have cared about and what's coming up. Yeah. I guess, would you like to take notes, Matt?
Yeah, sure.
That would be good, so that we can.
I am ready when you are.
All right. So from the previous meeting, we have xdg-toplevel-icon and something about following up on QtMir. So for a start, we xdg-toplevel-icon, that protocol has landed. It needs a little bit of fix up in the, there are some wibblies with buffer lifetime management around that. It needs some fix up, and someone should propose a PR to fix that up. Someone. But that has landed in a way which is all acceptable to everyone involved. We don't have any, in the Mir team, we don't have any particular need for it. None of the projects we control really require it, but we will probably hook it up at some point because it is a useful protocol, and we will probably run into a desire for it eventually. So that's top level icon. That one's done. And a quick QtMir follow-up. So as those following along are probably aware, we've had, I have blown up the platform API in Mir in 2.16 to get proper hybrid support and clean up the interfaces and such. And that has impacted QtMir because it needs to interface with those, because it provides a separate compositor and various other technical reasons. So I have, in the 20 minutes to half an hour between me waking up and everyone else in the house waking up, I have slowly potted around fixing that. In chat, there is a link to the current state of work, which builds and doesn't work because it doesn't get the textures out of client buffers anymore. That is the next thing that needs to be done there. It is in our fixing that up in work time is in our backlog, and we'll see where we can slot that in. It has been a little while since I actually had 20 minutes to half an hour in the morning, so I will need to give a I might this afternoon even just have a quick look at what actually needs to be done there and how long it is likely to take me. If other people want to learn interesting things about the Mir platform API, they're welcome to have a stab at it. The thing that needs to happen is QtMir needs to have access to the rendering platform, which provides an interface to go from a Mir buffer to a texture. And in the QtMir rendering pipeline, when it needs a texture, it needs to call through that interface to get the texture. So that shouldn't be terribly difficult. It is going to be just a little bit of plumbing, and the more annoying part is that you need to know which platform to be importing the texture on, because we have a platform per GPU, but Qt only wants a single context for its rendering. So you need to make sure you're importing the texture on the right GPU. For a first cut, I plan to ignore that problem and assume there is one GPU. But a proper solution will need to do a bit better there. Mostly there is only one, well, I say mostly. All of my systems have more than one GPU. Yeah, but that's the follow-up there. We'll stick a link to my QtMir repository and branch in the notes, in case people want to check that out. They will see that it has been a little while since I've poked around at it. Yeah. So those are the actions for the previous meeting. The other thing we have is what's coming up soon in Mir. And I guess since you're taking notes, Matt, I can't really do a back and forth. That's okay. Because first up is Matt's window management test harness.
Yes.
There are a bunch of areas of Mir where our window management is not great, particularly Alt-Tab. And at the recent sprint in Madrid, we decided that the first thing to do about this was to get some tests as to what behavior we want to see. And then once we have some tests in place, to refactor things and fix the behaviors once we have tests for the behaviors and can check that we're not breaking other things. And towards that end, Matt has been building a test harness for window management tests and has a first set of window management tests, and that is either almost landed or landed now?
It is near. It is on its way.
It is almost landed. Yes.
Yes. I might want to write some more tests for the minimal window manager, but it mostly you can now test your window manager, which I'm looking forward to in Miracle as well, because we really need that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we can land it before all of the tests are in. You're welcome to add, we can add more tests after the first round. Yeah. So that's, yes. So that is a good one and almost done. The other one is XDG decoration. Our new team member, Tyler, has, as one of his early get across the code base tasks, has implemented XDG decoration support. So that is again in review and is almost landed. That should land pretty soon and will by default for us request client-side decoration or always, but downstreams such as QtMir will be able to override that and select their choice, which may well be requesting server-side decorations always. But yes, so that is another, well, that is a long requested feature that should be landing soon. Also long requested is WP Viewporter support, which is on a branch on my computer at the moment. It currently, that now, like, it works, and I'm currently finishing up writing. It works as long as clients do the right thing. I'm currently finishing up writing some WLCS tests for that protocol, specifically all of the ways that clients can do the wrong thing and what errors they should get, because the current implementation doesn't send errors in a lot of cases. And actually, now that I think of it, might crash the server if you send particularly incorrect requests. So we should not do that. So that's, yes. So that's my WP Viewporter. Finally, on this list, we have input configuration. Alan has been poking through. We've had, like, all of the internals for input configuration have been existing in Mir for essentially ever, but we haven't exposed them at all. And so Alan has gone through and brushed away some of the cobwebs, because unused code tends to become not working code, and has now exposed them. So you can now set as Mir options all of the lib input stuff that you might want to do, like tap to click, natural scrolling, acceleration profiles. Those sort of things are now exposed out to the configuration system. So like the Mir _server * environment variables, the command line options, and the configuration file. Stick them in any of those and they will now apply. Once again, everything has all of, I think that's all landed, but we are fixing up some of the names of them. So they now work and will, they now work. The names of the options will probably change between now and release, but they will be in the next release. Speaking of, the next release will probably start pretty soon because we've got a bunch of stuff that is about to or has already landed in main, and so it's a good time to get those things out. So expect a 2.18 release in the near future. We haven't started it yet, and not everything that we want in there has landed yet, but once it has, that's going to be something that someone will get to start pushing the buttons on. And I think that's all of the what's coming up.
Yeah. I think that is everything. Yep.
Yeah. I guess I could mention that like a chunk of my next work will be enabling atomic KMS, which is not actually going to be particularly interesting for the immediate future, but will enable a bunch of other, like, once we're using the new atomic KMS API, will enable a bunch of interesting things later.
Cool.
That people might be interested in that. So finally on our agenda, we have community. So we were going to get some update on the Miracle Fedora spin, perhaps? Do you have any updates on that, Matt? Or are we hoping for Neil?
I should talk to Neil about that, but you know, we are sort of beginning to think about what we want in it, but not really any development on it. Currently in the background, I'm just working on getting Miracle 0.3 out the door, which adds things like animations and stuff. So maybe that will sway us, no pun intended, in one way or another in terms of what the final shell will look like. So that'll be exciting. The last remaining bug there is that I can't play Counter-Strike on it. So I'll see if I could fix that.
I have to say I have sometimes had issues with Steam games on Mir shells.
Yeah. Well, this one, I do know it works on Miriway.
Okay.
So it is, but it does not work on Miral Shell, and it doesn't work on Miracle. So there's something that both Miral Shell and I are doing that is preventing things from working, which is going to be a fun hunt.
Yeah. I assumed it was something in the X-Wayland integration, but maybe don't. Interesting.
We could discuss it offline. It's an interesting problem where the cursor isn't getting confined.
Oh, okay.
Beats me. Yeah. So anyway, I'll probably bug you about that offline. But yeah, that's where we're at with that. And we're going to give a talk at Flock to Fedora about the Miracle Spin. So that is in August, I believe, the beginning of August. So we should have something pretty good by then, at least a little more well-rounded about what goes into it. So
nice.
Yeah.
And that is in August in North America?
Yes, it is. If you want to attend, I believe it's August. I should know this. Yeah, 7th to 11th. Yeah.
In
Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York. All right.
Yep. I should have been taking notes about that. But yeah, that's all that's going on there.
That's good. And so yeah, that's there if you want to attend that. And also, we wanted to start talking about the Ubuntu Summit, which has been announced as in The Hague in October, end of October, right? Yes.
Around Halloween.
As always. Yes, so I will not be there at this Ubuntu Summit, but everyone else, I believe, will be like, you're going to be there, Matt, Alan will be there, Savik will be there. And so we might want to start thinking about submitting one or more abstracts for doing a talk if people want to. We can think about stuff within the Mir team about that. But if any outside, if any outside people would like to present something, that would also be excellent, and we can help. We can help organize that if you want. Yeah. And so that is, I think, all we had. Yeah. Maybe this time zone is not the best one for people to attend.
Yeah, it might be too late for people on the East Coast here. And then we could hit up other people in the I don't know how many Australians there are compared to Europeans and East Coasters.
Yeah, that's how it works normally. There's a lot more. There are a lot more people ready to go in European time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, this is good anyway.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. Very good. Yes. What do we... So we might... I guess I will hang around for the rest of the scheduled time, just in case people drop in late.
Cool. Yeah.
But so is there anything that you are particularly excited about coming up in Mir, or like what would be?
Let's see. I have a favorite thing. Sorry, this involves me loading into the backlog. The test stuff is very cool. Oh, well, sorry, what was that? Why am I blanking on the name? The global shortcuts stuff.
The global shortcuts portal?
Yeah, why did I blank on that? Portals, yeah, of course.
Yep.
So that,
yeah,
the sooner the better, because I want to use those very quickly in Miracle. So that would be really nice if we started getting those. I'd really also like to get support for screen sharing. I know there's some sort of hack out there, and I think we've discussed this before, where you could take whatever it is, WLR, XDG's, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Desktop portal, yeah. And you could hack it to make it work for Mir. But it would be great if I could somehow have that working out of the box in Miracle. Because for people running a desktop environment, screen sharing is sort of like day one. You might want to be doing that, right?
Yeah.
So that would be a very nice thing. And I guess the legit way of doing that is just by having native support for portals, correct? And then
well, I mean, we do have. So there are kind of two approaches there. There's the WLR approach. There's the WL roots approach, where they have there are a bunch of Wayland protocols that they support and we support, which their portal implementation talks to. So WLR XDG desktop portal is their implementation of a desktop portal which talks like ext screen sharing or the WR screencast or screen copy. Yes, that one, to provide the portal, and that's why it doesn't really require. It doesn't require hacks to XWLR to their desktop portal thing so much as actually just getting it to start in the session, because once it's started, it like we support the same protocols, and so that works.
And that's basically just it's sort of a client to the compositor at that point.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's a client to the compositor. The alternative is to like the GNOME shell sort of alternative is to have the compositor itself expose the necessary dbus. Although now that I think of it, like XDG desktop portal GNOME still exists and just talks a dbus protocol between Mutter and it.
Like another dbus?
I believe it is it provides the portal interface. It provides the portal interface, and Mutter provides a different dbus interface, which either is. There are pros and cons for for dbus versus an extra Wayland protocol. That's So screen there shouldn't be that much potentially also for newer desktops. I'm running Ocular is the new Oracular. There it is. Yes.
Oh, Oracular.
Okay. Yes, Oracular. I'm like not an Eric. An Eric was ages ago. No, Oracular. Yes. Almost Ocular. On one of my systems, and some more things have switched to a systemd managed user session. So various things the GTK desktop portal doesn't start because in my Mirrorway session because we haven't reached because we're not setting up a systemd user session, and it is waiting for the user session to hit the graphical target, and it doesn't because we don't. So it would be nice to set up to have a default setup for that, which is probably nothing more than a little bit of that should really be me cleaning up my Mirrorway config and pushing it to Alan's repo as he has often asked to collect our various Mirrorway configs.
That'd be nice.
That I don't think requires any. That doesn't require anything but changing some dropping in a couple of configuration files into the system D paths and changing, like, yeah, and just setting, like, executing stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll fiddle with that over some time.
When you're not working on QtMir and you're not working on everything else.
Yes. All of those things, yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's also, I guess, what I would like to, like, non-workedly do next in here, getting my desktop session a little bit more working. Now that there are a couple more, like, some of the more annoying bugs in window management and input handling have gone. So now, like, Alt Tab doesn't sometimes leave the Alt modifier hanging around.
Right. That was
And
a fun one.
yeah, things like that. It's perfectly usable as a desktop session, and so I mean, it would be nice to have a better Alt Tab switcher. But
yeah,
that is, like,
that's another story. But I do agree. It's now our concerns are getting more and more desktop-y and less. Can it work? I suppose. There's nothing annoying about using a Mir session anymore, other than, okay, we need to set up these. We need to set up the portals. We need to do all these quality of life things. So that's quite good. Like, I find I could use it for 8 hours a day and only be mildly upset when I can't share my screen.
yeah. It somehow manages to resume from suspend better than GNOME Shell does for me on this hardware.
Yeah.
For probably entirely accidental reasons, but hey, that's nice.
It works.
Yeah. I guess that is that's about time, so we can probably wrap it up.
Sure. Do you want to end the recording?
Yeah. Is that the button to do that? Yes.